Okay, let's talk about fractions. Fractions come in a couple of sorts, rational and repeating. Irrational numbers we cannot be written as a fraction. So let's look at some fractions. There are rational and repeating fractions. I believe you've heard of this previously as rational numbers and repeating decimals. Irrational numbers cannot be written as a ratio of two integers, say 1, 2, 3, 4, dot, 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 for example. Square root of 2 and pi are called irrational numbers because they can't be written as a ratio of two integers, such as 1 over 4, 2 fifths, 2 over 5, 10 over 2, 1/3, 0.125, 125, 125. Those are rational numbers. These fractions you should be familiar with. 1/3 and 0.125, 125, 125 are called repeating decimals. 1/3 because it repeats the 3 infinitely. So when we see 1/3, we know to write it as 1/3. But 0.125, 125, 125 repeating decimal, how do you know to write that? So how do we write 0.125, 125 and 0.333 as a ratio of two integers? Well, let's look at that. Let's investigate why knowing algebra makes us superior in mathematics. Okay. With 0.33333 dot dot dot, it continues on forever. First, let's allow x to equal 0.33333. Okay. So x equals 0.333. We'll call that equation 1. Okay. Now let's multiply x by 10. Okay. So we multiply both sides of this equation. We let x equal 0.3333. And we multiply both sides by 10. The reason why we do that is because we want to eliminate the repeating part of this fraction. So, okay. Now, since we got the repeating part in both equation 1 and equation 2, we can subtract equation 1 from equation 2. And that will eliminate the repeating part. Okay. So now we have 10x minus x equals 3.3333 minus 0.3333. Well, the repeating part goes away because we've subtracted it. So now we got 10 minus x equals 9, and we got 3.333 minus 0.333. That leaves us 3. And we divide both sides by 9, and we get 3 over 9, and we get x equal 1/3. So that's why when we see the rational number or the repeating decimal 0.3333, we know to write 1/3. That's why we know that, okay? And that's interesting to know. Okay, let's continue on. Let's start with 0.125, 125, 125. First, let's allow x to equal 0.125, 125. Okay, so we'll call that equation 1. Now we'll multiply both sides by 1,000. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want to get to the repeating part. We see that 125 is the part that's repeating. So we have 125, then we have 125, then we have 125. So that's 3 decimal points away. So we'll multiply by 1,000. Okay, so 1,000x equals 1,000 times 0.125, the repeating decimal. And we get 1,000x equals 125.125, the repeating part. Now we subtract equation 1 from equation 2, and that leaves us with the non-repeating part. Okay, and 1,000 minus x, 1,000x minus x is 999. X is equal to 125 because we've eliminated the repeating part. Okay, and that gives us 125 over 999. Okay, and if you put that in your equation, if you put that in your calculator, you'll see 125 divided by 999 is truly the repeating fraction 125, 125. Okay. Okay. Let's try another. Let's start with 0.2916666. Now the repeating part is 66666. So first let's allow x's to equal our repeating decimal. Okay. And we multiply by 1,000 to get to the repeating decimal. Okay. So 1,000x equals 291.666, and we've gotten to the repeating decimal. But now we cannot subtract equation 1 from equation 2 because equation 1 begins with 0.291. Okay. So let's multiply equation 2 by 10. Okay. So we multiply equation 2 by 10. Now we got 1,000 times 10 is 10,000. And that's equal to 10 times 291.6 gives us 2916 and 0.666. Now we have equation 2 and equation 3 where the repeating decimals are located. Okay. So now we can subtract equation 2 from equation 3 and to eliminate the repeating decimal. Okay. So now we have 2916 minus 291 divided by 9,000. Okay. And that comes up to be 2625 divided by 9,000. And if you reduce that fraction, you'll get 7/24. And therefore 7/24 is equal to 0.291666. And that's a nice, easy way to know why these repeating decimals are fractions. Okay? Let's try another. Okay. Let's write 0.0036222 as a fraction. Okay, x equals 0.0. Let's let x equal 0.0036222. 222 is the repeating part. So let's multiply x by 10,000 to get to the repeating part. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal points we have to move over, so we multiply by 10,000 both sides. So 10,000x equals 36.222. Okay. We'll call that equation 1. Okay. Now, since we've gotten to the repeating part, well, we can't subtract x from that because x starts with 0036. So we got to multiply equation 1 by 10 again. Okay. So we multiply equation 1 by 10, and we get 10 times 10,000 is 100,000, and we get 362.222. Now subtract equation 2 from equation 1. And that gives us 100,000 minus 10,000 equals 362.222 minus 36.222. And that gives us 90,000, x equals 326. And we divide both sides by 90,000, and we get 326 divided by 90,000. And if we reduce that, we get 163 divided by 45,000. Therefore, 163 divided by 45,000 is equal to 0.003622. And if you put that into your calculator, you'll see just that's exactly what it is. So that's about it for fractions. I wanted to show you this special feature about fractions to give you a complete education on fractions. This is good to know. When will you use it? I don't know. But it's something you have in your pocket. Get an education, and you'll enjoy what you learn from mathematics. Until next time.